Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for strict laws and faster decisions in cases of atrocities against women. Commemorating 75 years of the Supreme Court of India, the Prime Minister says top court enhances glory of India as the mother of democracy. UN all set to vaccinate Gaza's children against polio during pauses in fighting. WHO delivers 1.2 million polio vaccine doses. Ban on social media platform X comes into effect in Brazil. Users face login issues. And in a major upset, Novak Djokovic crashes out of the US Open, losing to Australia's Alexei Popyrin in the third round. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the two-day National Conference of District Judiciary at the Bharat Mandapam in the national capital on New Delhi on Saturday. The two-day conference, organized by the Supreme Court of India, will host 5 working sessions that will deliberate and discuss on the issues related to district judiciary, such as infrastructure and human resources, inclusive courtrooms for all, judicial security and judicial wellness, case management and judicial training. Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal and President of the Supreme Court Bar Association were also present at the event. On the occasion, Prime Minister also unveiled a stamp and a coin commemorating 75 years of establishment of the Supreme Court of India. Prime Minister Modi underlined that the Supreme Court of India's journey of 75 years does not merely associate with one institution, but is also a journey of India's constitution, its values, and the journey of India evolving as a democracy. The Prime Minister highlighted the crucial role of the makers of the constitution and the entire judicial system in this journey. He also mentioned the role of crores of citizens of India who have trust in this judicial system. Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Narendra Modi noted that significant efforts have been made at various levels to eliminate delays in justice in the past decade.
डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट्स में करीब 4.5 करोड़ केसेस पेंडिंग है। न्याय में इस देरी को खत्म करने के लिए बीते एक दशक में कई स्तर पर काम हुआ है। पिछले 10 वर्षों में देश ने जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के विकास के लिए लगभग 8,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए हैं। आपको एक और तथ्य जानकर खुशी होगी, पिछले 25 साल में जितनी राशि जुडिशियल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर खर्च की गई, उसका 75% पिछले 10 वर्षों में ही हुआ है। इन्हीं 10 वर्षों में डिस्ट्रिक्ट जुडिशरी के लिए 7,500 से ज्यादा कोर्ट हॉल और 11,000 रेसिडेंशियल यूनिट्स तैयार की गई है।
Prime Minister Modi highlighted the significance of the newly introduced criminal bills. He emphasized that these reforms are crucial for building a more robust and efficient legal framework in the country.
इन कानूनों की भावना है सिटीजन फर्स्ट, डिग्निटी फर्स्ट एंड जस्टिस फर्स्ट। हमारे क्रिमिनल लॉज शासक और गुलाम वाली कॉलोनियल सोच से आजाद हुए हैं। सेडिशन जैसे अंग्रेजी कानूनों को खत्म किया गया है। न्याय संहिता की सोच नागरिकों को सजा देगा, यही एकमात्र नहीं है, लेकिन नागरिकों को सुरक्षा देना भी है। इसलिए एक और महिलाओं और बच्चों के खिलाफ होने वाले अपराधों पर सख्त कानून बने हैं, दूसरी ओर पहली बार मामूली अपराधों में सजा के तौर पर कम्युनिटी सर्विस का प्रावधान किया गया है। भारतीय साक्ष्य अधिनियम के तहत सबूत के तौर पर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक और डिजिटल रिकॉर्ड को भी मान्यता मिली है। भारतीय नागरिक सुरक्षा संहिता के तहत इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मोड में समन भेजने की व्यवस्था बनाई गई है। इससे न्यायपालिका पर पेंडिंग केसेस का बोझ भी कम होगा।
Drawing the attention of the gathering against the burning issue, the Prime Minister emphasized that atrocities against women and the safety of children were serious concerns in the society today. He highlighted that many strict legislations were enacted for the safety of women in the country.
आज महिलाओं के खिलाफ अत्याचार, बच्चों की सुरक्षा समाज की एक गंभीर चिंता है। देश में महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए कई कठोर कानून बने हैं। 2019 में सरकार ने फास्ट ट्रैक स्पेशल कोर्ट की स्थापना की योजना बनाई थी। इसके तहत अहम गवाहों के लिए डिपोजिशन सेंटर्स का प्रावधान है। इसमें भी डिस्ट्रिक्ट मॉनिटरिंग कमिटीज की भूमिका महत्वपूर्ण हो सकती है। इस कमेटी में डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज, डीएम और एसपी भी शामिल होते हैं। क्रिमिनल जस्टिस सिस्टम के विभिन्न पहलुओं के बीच समन्वय बनाने में उनकी भूमिका अहम होती है। हमें इन कमेटियों को और अधिक सक्रिय करने की जरूरत है। महिला अत्याचार से जुड़े मामलों में जितनी तेजी से फैसले आएंगे, आधी आबादी को सुरक्षा का उतना ही बड़ा भरोसा मिलेगा।
And in his address, the Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, termed the district judiciary as the backbone of judiciary and said it's a crucial component of the rule of law.
The quality of our work and the conditions in which we provide justice to citizens determines whether they have confidence in us and is a test of our own accountability to society. The district judiciary is therefore called upon to shoulder tremendous responsibility and is aptly described as the backbone of the Indian judiciary. The spine is the core of the nervous system. To sustain the spine of the legal system, we must stop calling the district judiciary as the subordinate judiciary. 75 years after independence, the time has come for us to bury one more relic of the British era, the colonial mindset of subordination.
And with the aim to boost connectivity in the Indian states of Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, Prime Minister Modi virtually flagged off 3 Vande Bharat trains. Realizing Prime Minister's vision of Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, the state-of-the-art Vande Bharat Express will improve connectivity. These new Vande Bharat trains will provide the people of the region world-class means to travel with speed and comfort. The introduction of these trains will herald a new standard of rail service to meet the needs of regular travelers, professionals, businessmen and student community in immense measure. In his address, Prime Minister Modi emphasized on the drastic increase in railway budget allocations for both Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, reflecting the government's commitment to enhancing infrastructure and modernizing the rail networks in these states.
इस साल के बजट में हमने तमिलनाडु को 6,000 करोड़ रुपए से ज्यादा का रेलवे बजट दिया है। ये बजट 2014 की तुलना में 7 गुना से अधिक है। तमिलनाडु में 6 वंदे भारत ट्रेन पहले से ही चल रही है। इन 2 ट्रेन के साथ ये संख्या अब 8 हो जाएगी। इसी तरह कर्नाटका के लिए भी इस बार 7,000 करोड़ से ज्यादा का बजट आवंटित हुआ है। ये बजट भी 2014 की तुलना में 9 गुना अधिक है। आज वंदे भारत ट्रेनों की 8 जोड़ियां पूरे कर्नाटका को जोड़ रही हैं।
The Prime Minister highlighted how the expansion of Vande Bharat Express network has had a significant increase in tourism and local economies in the regions, benefiting both the residents and the visitors.
जिन जगहों तक वंदे भारत एक्सप्रेस की सुविधा पहुंच रही है, वहां पर्यटकों की संख्या बढ़ रही है। पर्यटकों की संख्या बढ़ने का मतलब है वहां कारोबारियों, दुकानदारों की आय में बढ़ोतरी हो रही है। हमारे यहां रोजगार के नए अवसर भी तैयार हो रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi also applauded how Vande Bharat Express has become the new face of modern Indian railways. How the increasing number of passengers not only proves the success of Vande Bharat trains, but also symbolizes the aspirations and achievements of India.
वंदे भारत आधुनिक होती भारतीय रेलवे का नया चेहरा है। आज हर शहर में, हर रूट पर वंदे भारत की मांग है। हाई स्पीड ट्रेनों के आने से लोगों में अपने व्यापार और रोजगार को, अपने सपनों को विस्तार देने का भरोसा जगता है। आज देश भर में 102 वंदे भारत रेलवे सेवाएं संचालित हो रही है। अब तक 3 करोड़ से ज्यादा लोग इन ट्रेनों से यात्रा कर चुके हैं। ये संख्या वंदे भारत ट्रेनों की सफलता का सबूत तो है ही, ये आकांक्षी भारत की आकांक्षाओं और सपनों का प्रतीक भी है।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar was speaking on China in the capital. He called it a unique problem. He said that India is not the only country in the world having a debate about China. Addressing the ET World Leaders Forum in New Delhi on Saturday, the minister said that everyone chose to consciously overlook the nature of Chinese production decades ago and are now complaining.
There is a general China problem. We are not the only country in the world which is having a debate about China. Go to Europe and ask them, what is today among your major economic or national security debates? It's about China. Look at the United States. It's obsessed with China, and rightly so in many ways. So the fact is, let's not make out as though it's only India which has a China problem. India has a China problem, a special China problem. That's over and above the world's general China problem.
The Indian government has unveiled a groundbreaking initiative that aims to propel India into the forefront of the global biotechnology sector. The new Bio-E3 Biotechnology for Economy, Employment and Environment policy was released by Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh in Delhi on Saturday. This promises to transform the nation's manufacturing landscape. According to the minister, India's bioeconomy has seen explosive growth, skyrocketing from $10 billion in 2014 to over $130 billion in 2024. With projections to reach $300 billion by 2030, the policy aims to further boost this momentum. Key features of the policy include establishment of biomanufacturing hubs, bio-AI clusters, and support for entrepreneurship in various sectors, including bio-based chemicals and precision biotherapeutics.
Right now, we have 86% of our fuel consumption being met by petrol. And the entire petrol comes from the other countries. So if we are able to recycle 25% plastic waste, 25% biomass, and the rest of the carbon dioxide, we would become totally non-dependent on the petroleum sources. So that will not only live up to the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat, but it will also make us self-sufficient and domestically much more independent.
Still to come on this edition of DD India Live, Russian President Vladimir Putin set to visit Mongolia next week despite an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court. NATO's Secretary General calls Ukraine's incursion into Russia's Kursk region legitimate. And Brazil's Supreme Court has ordered the immediate release and immediate suspension of the social media platform X within the country.
So will Malayalam industry be able to remove this taint?
The government has had to bite the bullet because the government withheld the report. The communist government in Kerala withheld the report first and foremost. It was the public pressure, it was the mounting, anguish of the women that eventually led to that.
There has to be gender sensitization of the public prosecutor, of the police, of the lawyer fraternity, of the judiciary. So silence itself is a crime. If you do not stand up for justice, if you do not open your mouth, if you're not vocal about it.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. The Embassy of India in Laos has successfully rescued 47 Indians who were trapped in cyber scam centers at the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone. In Bokyo province of Lao PDR, of these 29 were handed over to the embassy by Lao authorities after their crackdown on illegal activities in the Golden Triangle SEZ, while 18 others had approached the embassy in distress seeking help. Embassy has undertaken and completed all procedural requirements of the Lao authorities for their repatriation to India. Of these, 30 have already safely returned to India or are on their way, while the remaining 17 are only awaiting travel arrangements to be firmed up and would be leaving Lao PDR soon. The embassy has so far rescued 635 Indians and assured their safe return to India. The embassy has strongly advised any Indian planning to take up a job in Lao PDR to exercise utmost care and caution and do the due diligence thoroughly to avoid being duped. They may carefully go through the detailed advisory available at the embassy's website, that's Indian Embassy lao.gov.in, or contact the embassy in case of any doubt. Russian President Vladimir Putin will visit Mongolia next week. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that Moscow has no concerns about President Putin's upcoming visit to Mongolia, despite an arrest warrant issued against him by the International Criminal Court. And the ICC had issued a warrant in 2023 accusing Putin of war crimes related to illegal deportation of hundreds of Ukrainian children following Russia's military operation in Ukraine that began in February 2022. While Russia is not a member of the ICC and does not recognize its jurisdiction, Mongolia is a member of the court and acknowledges its authority. Well, now updates on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. 5 people were killed and 46 injured in Ukrainian attack on the southwestern Russian city of Belgorod late on Friday. Video showed another car being blown up while moving on the road. Seconds later, an explosion is seen on the other side of the road. Ukraine has staged frequent attacks on Belgorod and the Russian border regions in recent months. Ukraine and Russia say they do not deliberately target civilians in the war that began when Russia sent thousands of troops into its smaller neighbor in February 2022. Moscow has called the operation a special military operation. Meanwhile, a Russian guided bomb attack on Ukraine's northeastern city of Kharkiv hit a residential building and a playground on Friday, killing 7 people and injuring at least 77. Kharkiv has been the focus of heavy Russian bombing throughout the conflict, although there has been a drop in intensity in recent weeks, possibly related to a shock incursion launched by Ukrainian forces into Russia's Kursk region. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky dismissed the head of the country's Air Force, Mykola Oleshchuk, on Friday, days after the crash of an F-16 warplane in what may have been a friendly fire incident. Zelensky gave no specific reason for the decision, but said that it was necessary to strengthen military leadership. Zelensky further added that the country is not just talking about long-range solutions, but about strong solutions. The plane had crashed on Monday while defending against an intense aerial attack by Russian forces, which on Friday hit an apartment block in Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv, killing at least 7 people and wounding scores of others. In a first reaction to Ukraine's incursion into Russia's Kursk region, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said that the incursion is legitimate, and Ukrainian President Zelensky has made it clear that the operation aims to create a buffer zone to prevent further Russian attacks from across the border. The NATO chief said that Ukraine was running a risk with advance onto Russian territory, but that it was up to Kyiv on how to conduct its military campaign. The UN will start vaccinating some 640,000 children in Gaza Strip against polio on Sunday, a campaign that relies on daily 8-hour pauses in fighting between Israel and Hamas in specific areas of the besieged enclave. The complex campaign, which is targeting children under the age of 10, allows confirmation last week that a baby was paralyzed by type 2 polio virus, the first such case in the territory in 25 years. WHO officially say that at least 90% of the children need to be vaccinated twice, with 4 weeks between doses for the campaign to succeed. But it faces huge challenges in Gaza, which has been largely destroyed by the nearly 11-month-long conflict. The UN agency said that the campaign would occur in 3 phases in central, southern and northern Gaza. The World Health Organization Director General has issued an appeal for protection of health teams preparing for polio vaccination campaign. Tedros stressed that it is imperative for all parties involved to ensure the safety of health workers, medical facilities and children during the rollout of this vital public health initiative. A Brazilian Supreme Court justice ordered immediate suspension of social media platform X in the country after a court-imposed deadline expired for the company to identify a legal representative in Brazil. The move is the latest chapter in an ongoing feud between the Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes and Elon Musk, which also includes the freezing of satellite internet provider Starlink's financial accounts in Brazil. Amid the underlying feud over X, Brazil's Supreme Court also blocked the local bank accounts of the Starlink satellite internet firm, which is 40% owned by Musk, leading the company on Friday to ask the court to suspend that decision. On to sports now. Defending champion Novak Djokovic suffered a shocking US Open exit after losing to Alexei Popyrin in the 3rd round. Djokovic suffered a major upset at the hands of the Australian Alexei Popyrin with a 6-4, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4 defeat in the 3rd round of the US Open. Popyrin, who lost to Djokovic at both the Australian Open and Wimbledon this year, reached the round of 16 of a major for the first time. The loss means that Djokovic will end this season without a Grand Slam title for the first time since 2017. India's Yuki Bhamri and his French partner Albano Olivet moved into the men's doubles 3rd round of the US Open. They secured a hard-fought win over Austin Krajicek and Julian Roger The Indo-French pair defeated USA's Krajicek and his Dutch partner Jan Julen Roger 4-6, 6-3, 7-5. However, another Indian, N. Sriram Balaji, and his Argentine partner Guido Andreozzi exited the US Open after losing to Michael Venus of New Zealand and Neil Skupski of Great Britain. And let's now take a look at all the update from the Paralympics. India's Sukant Kadam enters the semi-finals in the para-badminton SL4 category. Sukant beat Thailand's Siripong Timaron by 2-0. With this, Sukant joins Sohas Yathiraj in SL4 category. And with two Indians lined up for para-badminton semi-final, India is confirmed at least of a bronze medal as of now. Well, that's it in this edition of DD India Live, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screens to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amrit Pal Singh. From all of us here in Delhi, thank you for watching DD India Live.
So will Malayalam